Hey, so right now, you can probably hear it in my voice. I have a cold and I'm still recovering from it. This is the best it's been in the past week, and I wanted to film a video. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about some eyeshadow palettes that are on my wish list. I have 10 palettes that are on my wish list. Wait, do I have 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do have 10, counting in Serbian. One of the few things I know how to do in Serbian. So I have 10 palettes that I want to share with you that I've got my eye on. I haven't purchased them yet, but I want to share them with you and see what you guys might think. I've got everything on my computer down here, so if you see me looking down, that's why. The first palette that's on my list is limited edition for the holidays, and it's the Dose of Colours Snow Angels palette. I actually just recently bought the Dose of Colours Marvellous Mauves palette. It's so pretty. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. You might not be able to see. It's quite far away. I'll try and do a close-up. But this palette, I've only used it once, bear in mind, so I don't have a full review on it. There's a nice mirror and a brush in here. The brush is actually really good. And I really like these shades a lot. They are so pretty. They go with my hair really well. Perfect little travel palette. I'll update you guys on how I feel about this soon, but right now I really do like this formula. These colours are right up my alley. There's, some berries, some pinks, some blues. That's the kind of shit I wear all the time, and this palette's calling my name. I really, really want it, and knowing that it's limited edition, I might have to pick it up very soon. This next palette is a palette that I've been wanting for a while, but I'm so unsure about it, which is why I've never purchased it, and it's the Juvia's Place Douce palette. Now, looking at this, I've had mixed reactions from people when I tell them that I kind of have my eye on this. Some people say it's too plain, it's too boring. Others are saying they don't get it, they don't understand the mix of colours, and to me, I get it, but not at the same time. It's confusing my brain. Like, it's so pretty, like, those colours all together. I know I would get a lot of use out of it, but I'm so unsure that I don't feel confident spending the money just yet. I have 3 palettes from Colourpop to talk about, and the first one is the Wet palette. Now, this is a collab with Bretman Rock, and I think he did 2 palettes inspired by the 2 colours of the Filipino flag. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who the fuck Bretman Rock is. No shade to him, I don't keep up with beauty influencers these days. I have the people that I watch, and I don't really venture anywhere else. This is something I've been wanting from Colourpop for ages. You guys know, I love the Colourpop single eyeshadow formula, and in the palette, I've got the Dream Street palette. I adore Colourpop's formula. Some shades are hit or miss, but overall, I really recommend them. They are so delicious. An all blue palette with a couple of browns. I mean, it's a blue palette with a pop of neutral, and that kind of thing is right up my alley. I love blue eyeshadow. I think it's my favourite to wear. I have a lot of shades I love wearing, but I think blue is one of my favourite because it really makes a statement. And yeah, I hope this isn't limited edition because it's beautiful. I hope they keep it around. The next palette is the Good Sport palette from Colourpop. Now, this is very neutral, okay? But this is a neutral palette that I like. I don't know why I'm so drawn to it. It's really, really nice. And I know that I love the Colourpop formula, so naturally I want to get it. Because I live in the UK, you kind of have to place a huge order from Colourpop, and then, you have to pay customs, and it takes ages to get here. So I haven't jumped and bought this yet. The one thing that really puts me off about the palette, though, is the leopard print packaging. I fucking hate animal print anything. I think it's fucking tacky. It's just my opinion. I know some people love it. You either love it or hate it, and I am so against it. I hate anything animal print. I will avoid something if it's animal print, especially cheetah print. The last Colourpop palette is the Ooh La La palette. It's a pink palette, guys. It's a pink palette, and I've got pink hair that looks like cotton candy when it's naturally curly and bouncy. Surprisingly, I don't have many pink eyeshadows in my collection. I have a lot of, soft pinks and, peachy pinks, but nothing hot pink. I feel like this would make a good addition to my collection. The next palette is from Lime Crime, and it's the Venus XS palette in silver. I've been eyeing up Lime Crime for a while. I know that they've had a lot of controversy in the past, but I think now that they have a new CEO, I think things are changing for the better. And actually, I bought my first Lime Crime thing along with the Dose of Colours. I bought the Lime Crime Plushies in the shade Milk Tea, and I'm wearing it today. So far, I think I really like it as well. And I want to try out their eyeshadow formula, and I think this is a good thing to try out because, you know, it's just a quad, and I've been really drawn to silvers and cool tones because of the winner, but every time I go to buy it, it's always out of stock, which is a good thing, I guess. Means it's being well received. And the last 3 eyeshadow palettes are from Melt Cosmetics. Melt recently came to Beauty Bay, but they only have the stacks, and one of the stacks I really want, and it's the Gunmetal stack. Now this retails for £40. £40 for 4 eyeshadows. I mean, granted, it pretty much is the same price of a Sugar Pill eyeshadow, and I own quite a few of those. Sugar Pill eyeshadows are £8. I haven't jumped on it, and I was gonna get it on Black Friday, but again, all of them were sold out. It was so picked over, the Melt Cosmetics collection. But this, I feel like, would be so nice with that Lime Crime palette I just mentioned, because, again, it's very gunmetal-y, grungy, cool-toned deliciousness. Yeah, this is the one stack from Melt that I'm super drawn to and I really want to get. The next Melt palette is one that was so popular this year. It came out this year, right? It was super popular, it's always sold out, and it's only sold on the Melt website, which I'm a bit annoyed about because that means I have to pay international shipping and then customs and all that stuff. I've never placed an order from Melt Cosmetics before. This is the Gemini palette. Now, okay, I know a few Geminis. This palette doesn't, to me at least, doesn't really represent a Gemini. I mean, a little bit. And even though half of it is neutral with like the warm orangey browns and then half of it is like olives, I love those two together. I think they really complement each other, and especially if you have hazel eyes, I think this is the best palette for you. And I know my mum would love this palette. If she wore eyeshadow, my mum would be obsessed with this, because my mum loves olive green. Like, she wears olive green all the time, she always has olive green eyeliner. My mum loves olive green, okay? She's obsessed. And Mum, I know you're watching this video. I know you love this palette. It's so expensive. It's ridiculously expensive. It's 58 American dollars. Don't know how much that is in pounds, I'll probably put that here. I don't have anything like it in my collection, and I really am drawn to it. And the last Melt palette actually goes with the Gemini palette, and it's the Smoke Sessions palette. Now this is pretty much all shimmer, apart from 2 mattes, and I feel like this really would complement the Gemini palette perfectly. Everyone's been saying that. Now, I will preface this. I've seen the ad for this palette. If you haven't seen it, pause the video and search up on YouTube right now, because it's basically a weed ad. It's just basically a weed ad with some makeup thrown in. I will say this. I don't smoke weed. I don't. I'm not against smoking weed. Like, I have really good mates that smoke weed, and I don't mind. I really couldn't care less if you decide to smoke weed. It's just not for me. So having a weed-themed palette seems a bit odd to me. It's like how someone would theme a palette around, like, beer or wine. Again, I don't drink, but, like, to me that's a bit weird. That aside, I do really like this. A lot of people were complaining that there weren't enough greens, which they did say that it was inspired by, like, you know, the early stages of marijuana to, like the growing, you know what I mean? But again, I probably would only buy this palette if I had the Gemini palette, because I don't think I could make this work on its own with what I have in my collection. I mean, I could, but I would prefer having this and the Gemini palette. Now, the last thing I want to mention, now this isn't a palette, these are single eyeshadows. Now, if you guys know me, you know that I love Sugar Pill eyeshadows. I'm currently almost finished filling up my Pro palette, the 12 pan one, and I'll post a screenshot right here, a couple of screenshots actually, of their 7 new eyeshadows they're coming out with. I want all of them. Voltage looks so similar to Buttercup Cake. I don't know if they're discontinuing that, but that's my favourite yellow eyeshadow. I still want it anyways, if I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I'm gonna hit pan on Buttercup Cake so soon. There's such a huge dip in it. Tokyo is so pretty. I know Sugar Pill is discontinuing Dolly Pop, which was their, like, signature bright pink. Maybe because manufacturers couldn't make it, or they couldn't get the right pigments and that kind of thing. but Tokyo looks stunning. I need that. Oh my gosh. Bitter Melon looks so nice and just, oh, rich. Like a rich teal. Hypnotic reminds me a mix of Home Sweet Home and Kimchi. I own Kimchi. And to be honest, Valoria and 16. Now, here's the thing, okay? I've realised when looking through my collection, like, how many eyeshadows do I have dupes of? Like, what's an eyeshadow that I have multiples of? And, let me just... After swatching from several different palettes, the one eyeshadow... Well, the one mini spectrum of eyeshadows that I have multiples of that look almost exactly the same. Lavenders and lilacs. Can you see that? I mean, it looks really, really, really washed out on camera, but like, these two are the exact same. These four are, like, what's the difference? This one's probably the best one though. This one's from Nabla. I have so many eyeshadows that look like this. Some of these are single eyeshadows, so I have picked them out, like, on my own. Why do I have so many? I don't know why, but I'm so drawn to these shades. So 16 and Valoria are like... they're perfect. They're a perfect addition to my collection. No, they're not. Wait, what am I saying? Look how many shades I have that are similar. Like, Valoria looks like these top two colours, and 16 looks like these. Like, I don't need them. Do you see me? I don't need them! Like, fuck, that was aggressive. One of the eyeshadows is sadly broken, but as you can see, I have 4 spaces here, and I might use a couple of shades from the Sugar Pill line to, you know, fill that up. But then I'm probably gonna buy a 6-pan palette and just fill it with the purples, the blues. This is how I know that I have a problem with makeup. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm gonna go now and give my throat a rest. And yeah, let me know your thoughts of some palettes that you may be interested in. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.